Ah, the expat life. Sun-drenched beaches, charming cafes, and a never-ending parade of Instagram-worthy moments. Or is it? The allure of packing up and starting fresh in a new country is undeniable and often romanticized. But between the perfectly filtered photos and the carefully curated captions lies a more complicated reality. For every blissful expat, there's another wrestling with bureaucratic nightmares, cultural clashes, and the crushing realization that maybe, just maybe, home wasn't so bad after all. In this video, we're diving into the underbelly of the expat dream, ranking countries based on the percentage of Americans who, after taking the plunge between 2020 and 2024, decided to pack their bags once more. So buckle up as we explore the destinations most likely to make you say, well, that wasn't what I signed up for. Let's be honest, we all have that one friend who swore they'd move to Italy and live off pasta, love, and the intoxicating aroma of freshly brewed espresso. The allure of Italy is undeniable, with its rich history, vibrant culture, and mouth-watering cuisine. And who could blame them? Italy is undeniably gorgeous. From the rolling hills of Tuscany to the bustling streets of Rome, every corner of this country is a feast for the senses. But beneath that seductive exterior lies a bureaucratic labyrinth that would make even Dante break into a cold sweat. The paperwork alone is enough to make anyone reconsider their dreams. Imagine this: you've just arrived in Italy, your head filled with visions of leisurely lunches and romantic strolls through ancient ruins. The excitement is palpable and the possibilities seem endless. But first, you need to navigate the Italian bureaucracy. It's a daunting task that requires patience, persistence, and a good sense of humor. And trust me, it's a beast. The sheer volume of paperwork and the complexity of the processes can be overwhelming. We're talking about a system so notoriously convoluted, so maddeningly inefficient, that it could make a saint consider a life of crime just to cut through the red tape. The lines are long and the forms are endless. From obtaining a visa to setting up a bank account, every step is an exercise in patience. Each process is a test of your resolve and determination. You'll encounter more forms than you knew existed, each one requiring a dizzying array of documents. It's a never-ending cycle of paperwork and approvals. And don't even get me started on the language barrier. Navigating official documents in a foreign language adds another layer of complexity. Sure, you can get by with basic Italian in tourist traps, but try explaining your way through a residency permit application with the vocabulary limited to pizza and grazie. It's a whole different ballgame, and let's not forget the cultural differences. Adapting to a new way of life can be challenging, and the cultural nuances can be perplexing. So, while Italy may seem like a dream on the surface, the reality can be a harsh wake-up call. It's a beautiful country with its own set of challenges that require resilience and adaptability. Ah, Spain! Land of flamenco, paella, and a work-life balance that would make a Puritan blush. With its sun-drenched beaches and laid-back lifestyle, it's a place that seems to promise a life of leisure and joy. It's no wonder that so many Americans dream of trading in their hectic lives for a slice of Spanish paradise. The allure of a slower pace, where afternoons are for siestas and evenings are for tapas, is hard to resist. And to be fair, Spain has a lot to offer. From its rich cultural heritage to its breathtaking landscapes, there's something for everyone. But before you pack your bags and start practicing your hola, there's one tiny detail you might want to consider: the Spanish job market. It's a factor that can make or break your dream of living in Spain. Now, I'm not saying it's impossible to find work in Spain. People do it all the time, and many find fulfilling careers. People do it all the time. However, it's important to be realistic about the challenges you might face. But let's just say that the Spanish job market isn't exactly known for its warm embrace of eager American expats. The competition can be fierce, and opportunities may not be as plentiful as you'd hope. First, you have the language barrier. While English proficiency is on the rise in Spain, it's still not as widespread as in other European countries. While English proficiency is on the rise in Spain, it's still not as widespread as in other European countries. This can make everyday interactions and job hunting more challenging, and unless you're fluent in Spanish, your job options will be severely limited. Many positions require a high level of Spanish proficiency, which can be a significant hurdle. Then there's the issue of qualifications. Spain has its own education system and professional certifications, and getting yours recognized can be a bureaucratic nightmare. Spain has its own education system and professional certifications, and getting yours recognized can be a bureaucratic nightmare. The paperwork and processes involved can be daunting. But even if you manage to overcome those hurdles, you'll still face stiff competition from locals. The job market is competitive, and employers often prefer to hire locals over expats. And let's not forget about the Spanish economy, which, shall we say, has seen better days. Economic challenges can make job hunting even more difficult. So while Spain may seem like a land of endless sunshine and sangria, the reality is that finding a job can be tougher than a plate of stale churros. It's essential to be prepared and realistic about the challenges ahead. Chapter 3, Australia, where the living costs bite back. G'day, mate. Welcome to Australia, the land of sunshine, surfing, and a cost of living that will make your eyes water faster than a crocodile tear. Now, I know what you're thinking. Australia. Expensive, but it's full of laid-back surfers and adorable koalas. How bad could it be? Well, my friend, let me tell you, the cost of living in Australia is no joke. From housing to groceries to transportation, everything in Australia seems to cost approximately 3 times what it does in the US. Want to rent a one-bedroom apartment in Sydney? Get ready to shell out enough cash to make a banker blush. And don't even get me started on the price of avocados. Seriously, they're like edible gold. Now, some might argue that the high cost of living is offset by Australia's high wages. And it's true, Australians do earn a decent minimum wage. But here's the thing. Those high wages are quickly gobbled up by the even higher cost of living. So while Australia may seem like a paradise on earth, the reality is that the cost of living can be a real buzzkill. Chapter 4, Portugal Paradise, at a premium. Portugal, the darling of the digital nomad set, the land of pastel de nata and picturesque coastlines. It's easy to see why so many people are flocking to Portugal, lured by the promise of affordable living, stunning scenery, and a more relaxed pace of life. But hold on a minute, because Portugal's popularity has come at a price, literally. Thanks to an influx of expats and digital nomads, Portugal's property prices and cost of living have skyrocketed in recent years. What was once a haven of affordability is now a battleground for those seeking a slice of Portuguese paradise. And while wages have increased slightly, they haven't kept pace with the rising cost of living. This means that many Portuguese people are being priced out of their own neighbourhoods, forced to compete with foreigners who can often outbid them. So while Portugal may still hold its charm, the reality is that it's no longer the budget-friendly haven it once was. Just ask the insert percentage of Americans who moved to Portugal between 2020 and 2024, only to find themselves longing for the days when they could afford a decent apartment without having to sell their internal organs on the black market. Chapter 5, France, the city of love and disillusionment. Paris, the city of lights, the city of love, the city of... Well, you get the idea. It's a place that has inspired countless dreams and romantic notions. France, and Paris in particular, has long held a certain allure for Americans. The idea of strolling along the Seine or sipping coffee at a quaint cafe is irresistible. The food, the fashion, the art, and the history all contribute to its magnetic charm. The je ne sais quoi of it all. It's a lifestyle that many dream of experiencing firsthand. It's enough to make anyone want to pack their bags and book a one-way ticket. The allure of a new adventure in a foreign land is powerful. But before you start practicing your French kiss, let's talk about the reality of expat life in France. It's not all croissants and café au lait, because while France may be the land of croissants and couture, it's also the land of bureaucratic nightmares, cultural clashes, and a certain, shall we say, indifference to the needs of foreigners. The romanticized vision often clashes with the day-to-day reality. First, there's the language barrier. It's a significant hurdle that can make even simple tasks daunting. While many Parisians speak some English, don't expect them to go out of their way to accommodate you. The expectation is that you will adapt to their language and customs. French is the language of France, and if you want to truly integrate, you'd better be prepared to learn it. It's a sign of respect and a necessity for daily life. Then there's the French bureaucracy, which is legendary for its complexity and inefficiency. It's a maze that can test the patience of even the most determined expat. From obtaining a visa to setting up a bank account, every step is an exercise in frustration. The red tape can be overwhelming. But perhaps the biggest challenge for expats in France is the cultural difference. The way of life, the social norms, and the unspoken rules can be difficult to navigate. So, while France may seem like a dream come true on the surface, the reality can be a rude awakening. It's a beautiful, complex, and sometimes frustrating place to call home. The grass isn't always greener, but sometimes it's just a different shade of beige. Look, moving abroad, it's a gamble, isn't it? Like trying to assemble IKEA furniture after a bottle of wine. Even if you follow the instructions, something's bound to be off-kilter. The point is, it's not always sunshine and Aperol spritzes. Sometimes it's torrential downpours of bureaucratic nightmares and the crushing realization that you'll never truly understand the concept of Spanish time. But here's the thing. Even with all its challenges, expat life can be incredibly rewarding. It forces you out of your comfort zone, challenges your perspectives, and exposes you to new cultures and ways of life. So, if you're considering taking the plunge, don't let this video deter you, because while the grass may not always be greener on the other side, sometimes it's just a different shade of beige.